Hey, Kenneth, welcome. You're the first one to join us today. And Rec Kendall and Ziggy Tangle, welcome. There is already Tangle Hank. Let's get you up on stage. All right. More people joining us. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you. All right. Hank, I think you're up as a speaker.
Yes, it seems. I hope it's working.
It's working perfectly. Am I audible as well?
Perfect. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, can hear you clear.
Off to a good start then. Great. Yeah, where are you calling from, Hank?
Currently, I'm in the European region around Switzerland. So, and right now coming from a busy day. What about yourself?
Yeah, busy indeed, but there's a lot happening. I can't wait for it to be finally time to go public with a lot of the stuff that is happening behind the scenes. Quite busy and quite happy with the progress overall. I have to be cautious not to talk myself into a dead end here, but yeah, all good on that end. Dr. Tangle, you should be able to speak as well. Let's give it a quick mic check on your end too.
Good evening. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, that is working out.
Yes.
Awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, let's just wait for a few more people to join us. It's not even 8 o'clock here in Germany, and the people are already showing up prior to the Discord notification. Love to see it. Speaking of the Discord notification, there it is. Good reminder to mute my computer. And with that, I think we can get started. So welcome, everybody. This is Buildsphere number 14. Time is flying. And just to talk a little bit about the format that we are having here, Buildsphere is essentially catered at showcasing the projects that are populating the IOTA EVM to the community, and likewise the community can of course ask questions. We collected some prior to this AMA, and if you have any question that is arising throughout the AMA, you'll have a chance to ask a question at the end. Just raise your hand and we will be sure to get you on stage. Also, if you have a project of your own, or you know a project that you would like to have featured here on Buildsphere, under each original thread that is announcing this format, you will find a Google form. That is a very short one, very easy to apply, and we are always happy to receive applications. And we'll take it from there. Cool. So that is the introduction out of the way. So speaking of the introduction, I'm your host, Jonathan. Now we're good. And now I would pass the introduction over to you. Hank, why don't we start with you?
Yes, I can give it a start. Hi, everyone. I'm Hank. I'm part of the MagicSea team. Been in crypto for quite a while, and then in DeFi since I would say DeFi summer. I don't know if it was 2020 DeFi summer. Since then, I've been really hooked in the DeFi ecosystem. At MagicSea, we're a small team, so as in all teams, you kind of do a bit of everything, right? But if I would say what's my main focus, it's definitely in marketing and communication. And maybe that as a start, I'll hand over to you, Doc.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, Hank. I can continue. Hey, everyone. Nice to see you all in this Twitter space. And thank you for the invite. Very nice to have us here. I'm Dr. Tangle. I'm part of the core team of MagicSea as well. I'm in crypto since, say, 2017. I came in when the IOTA had the first hype. Since then, I'm basically in this roller coaster since today, every day. In MagicSea, I think my key responsibilities are in two different areas. So one is engineering the protocol. So I work very closely with the devs together to make design decisions and to build everything up in a traditional sense. I think it would be like this kind of business owner where you decide on which kind of features we want to build in, and then work in very, very close relationship with the devs together to get this to life. And in the other area, I mostly do business development together with Alpha. Being in contact with all our partners and with future partners, hopefully, setting up token launches, deciding how we can work together with these other protocols. So very active in the interfaces of MagicSea.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I mean, probably everybody that has been dabbling in IOTA and Shimmer for some time has inevitably come across MagicSea. But yeah, maybe you can put it into a few short sentences. What is MagicSea, so that we are all on the same page before we are getting into some of the details here?
Should I can jump in. So what is MagicSea? MagicSea is the leading DEX, so Decentralized Exchange on Shimmer as well as on IOTA EVM. And we are as well the leading NFT Marketplace on the IOTA EVM at the moment. And you can do all the normal features which you can do on a DEX. You can swap your tokens, you can farm, you can provide liquidity, you can stake your tokens. We will go probably the next couple of questions a little bit more into detail what kind of specific market maker or DEX infrastructure we have. But that's the key features you can do. And on our NFT marketplace, you can buy your NFTs, you can sell, of course, your NFTs, and keep them in your wallet and hodl them.
Awesome. Yeah, as you already mentioned, there are, of course, some intricacies to discuss here. And over the last few episodes, we already have been dabbling a little bit in automated market makers. But in the case of MagicSea, there are basically different models of automated market making. One is the Uni V2 version, and the other is the Liquidity book. Sounds like that could do with a little explanation. Maybe you can point out some of the differences between those two.
Yes, so very good topics. So as you just said, MagicSea has two fundamentally different ways of providing liquidity, and which is then at the end enabling trading. One is, as you said, Uniswap V2. So that's full range pools where you go in and provide liquidity to the full price range. So you always need to add both tokens in the same amount, in the same dollar amount, let's say. So these pools are very good for providing base liquidity. You always have spot trading because these pools provide liquidity for all possible price spots. So that's very good for people coming in, just wanting to provide the liquidity and just keep it there and don't want to manage a lot. So these pools are very, let's say, very easy to handle, but on the other way, a bit less efficient. And this will lead me to Liquidity book. Liquidity book is the counterpart to it on MagicSea, and it's a concentrate liquidity management feature. And in these kind of liquidity book pools, you can very specifically decide how you want to provide your liquidity. You can go single-sided. You can go in a very specific range. You can use different shapes. So you can go in spot uniform. You can go curve shapes or bid-ask shapes. So you can basically build up your liquidity strategy as you want. And it's quite similar to an order book, what I just mentioned, because you provide your liquidity into very specific price bins. And you can think of like a bin as a sell or a buy order, like as an order book. And then you can decide, okay, where do you want to put in your sell orders? Where want you put in your buy orders? And this is at the end your liquidity strategy. And you can use this protocol then for so many things, as basic liquidity providing and liquidity farming, or you can even use it for trading. So you can provide liquidity into a very specific price spot or price range. And when this price is hit, then your tokens will be automatically sold or bought into the other one without paying any fees, any trading fees or swap fees. So it's quite a cool thing. And I think these two different protocols, Liquidity Book as well as Uniswap V2, help each other very, very nicely because they both have strong advantages. And we always said we want to have both. And maybe just let me talk briefly about this. Why? Because especially when you have smaller tokens where the price finding is still in action, so where the market has not fully decided yet what is the price of these tokens, can be a meme coin or like a smaller project coin. So here V2 pools are very efficient because the price finding is still ongoing and can be quite volatile. And on larger tokens like stable coins or like blue chip tokens like Bitcoin or Ethereum, Liquidity Book is really, really efficient because most of these tokens trade anyways in a specific range, and it makes much more sense than to go into this range and provide your liquidity there in a very efficient way.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that explanation. Also wanting to invite everybody to check it out on the website. It's MagicSea.finance. And if you are navigating there to the order book liquidity provisioning page, it is, of course, much easier to get an idea of how this works. The UI is quite, is quite good in displaying all the info that one would require to make a decision. What kind of liquidity provision do I want to go for? Awesome. Let me ask you, are there any considerations to make? Of course, you have been talking about the price finding that is usually better equipped for Uniswap V2, whereas more established assets, they find a home in the liquidity book where you can concentrate liquidity more, make it more efficient. Are there any other considerations to make? If I'm, let's say, launch a token, is there any help for deciding which model is the best for me? It is going to be a meme coin in this example, so let's run with that.
I think as I just said before, so when you start with a meme coin or even do a fair launch with MagicSea, you are usually starting off with a V2 pool because then you have your base liquidity. You can make sure that you always has, let's say, trading possible. So there will always be possible liquidity for a specific price spot. So for here, V2 pools are very, very efficient, especially for early liquidity providers because when these prices move very strong, and it's not very clear yet where it's balancing out, these V2 pools are very, very less, impacted by impermanent loss. So here it's really, really good to start with a V2 pool. And then later when you have sufficient fundamental liquidity, I think it's perfect to start a liquidity book pool where you can then, put specific liquidity into specific prices, maybe where you want to, support your token with a buy order or buy wall, or when you want to DCA out in a specific strategy, you can use Liquidity Book for. So here, at then later stage, I think it's a good mix. But at the beginning for a meme coin, I would propose to start with a Uniswap V2 pool. And maybe just because I think it fits good to the explanations I had before. As a liquidity provider, so if you are very new to the protocol and you just said, there's a lot of things on the front end, and we really try to make it as easy as possible for everyone joining MagicSea, because we always said we want to support the ecosystem and we want to onboard new people to the DeFi landscape. So this is our main goal, to make it as easy as possible. And we knew that Liquidity Book can be a little bit cumbersome at the very beginning and overwhelming maybe, because you can make so many different decisions. And for everyone who is not really clear yet how this works and what's happening there, we can highly recommend using the simple mode. So when you, for example, go in via the farming route, or you can go in via the detailed page, you can choose the simple mode. And here we basically make all the decisions, design decisions for the people who join this pool in the simple mode. And here it's spot 400 bins, because we think this is the lowest basically risk and a good starting point for someone who wants to learn more about Liquidity Book and to want to try it a bit out. So here, just I wanted to emphasize this a bit more. If you are new to Liquidity Book and you just want to try it out a bit, I can highly recommend using the simple mode and just play with it a bit and learn how this all works.
Awesome. Thank you, Doc. Very fair explanation. As part of my job, I've been, of course, going through your documentation, and so kudos to you guys. Really tidy docs. Been a pleasure to read through them. I've been stumbling across the mention of liquidity book market making rewards coming up soon. That piqued my interest a little bit. Can you tell us what that is all about?
Yes. So first of all, thank you for for the kudos. It's always nice to hear that someone likes the docs, because this is often I'm not sure how many people really go in and read the docs, but there's so much useful information in there, so I can highly recommend at least scanning over it and reading a bit about it. So liquidity book market maker rewards. So why we call it market making? Because on liquidity book, you are actually like a market maker when you provide liquidity. You go into spot, into like sell and buy orders. Everything you do, basically everything what a market maker on an original order book would do. And that's the reason we call it order market making rewards. And I think there are two main things you can do to earn Loom rewards at the moment. So one is you can just provide liquidity and earn fees. And this will bring you on the leaderboard, probably. At the moment, you can see when you go under Explore, you can see a leaderboard, and there are 200 positions shown. And these positions are recognized or rewarded with Loom rewards when you are in the higher ranks. So you can go in, you can market make, you can earn gas, you can earn fees, and this will bring you on the leaderboard, and then you can earn on top some Loom rewards. So this is the one way. And the other way is liquidity book farming. That's a very, very new feature we brought live a couple of weeks ago. We are very proud about it because this is using the newest tech you can think of. It uses hooks, hook rewarders. It's using Joe V2.2 pools. So it's really, really cool new tech. And here you just need to provide liquidity in the active range. It's a bit different from pool to pool, but mostly in 11 bins. You can see it on the farm page, which pools are incentivized at the moment. And when you provide liquidity into these pools and you have liquidity into these 11 bins, you will automatically reward it with Loom. So there's nothing else you need to do. The protocol is recognizing via these hooks automatically that you have provided liquidity into these bins, and you will get the share of the liquidity in the bins. So this is, and we call this liquidity book farming. So very, very new feature, really cool. I can highly recommend checking this out.
Awesome. Yeah, that is definitely bleeding edge tech. Great to see it on IOTA. Let's talk a little bit about the Hype Train campaign that is currently live. I'm not sure if I should preface this with any of the details. Maybe just a good idea to pass it on to you so you can go through the general stuff and touch on anything that you really want to. The Hype Train campaign also visible in the docs. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how this plays out.
Yes, thanks. I'll take this one. So the Hype Train campaign, the original idea was, I think many of us IOTA hodlers, we've been waiting for a long time for the IOTA EVM, and we as MagicSea team, anticipating and looking forward to this, we thought, let's start MagicSea then also with a proper campaign with stuff to do for the community, that the chain goes live, and there's things to participate in and have fun and earn rewards with. And overall, the Hype Train campaign rewards 400,000 Loom tokens over a period of 3 months. And right now we're kind of in the middle of it. But for anybody who's now hearing it for the first time, don't be disencouraged. The rewards are always given out in 2-week epochs. So, there's no difference if you're early or if you're late. If you join now, each epoch we announce the rewards that are given out for which activities, and you can just participate and earn after those 2 weeks your fair share of it, and you're not kind of need to catch up with everyone else. This is maybe overall the idea, and maybe to go a little bit into the campaign build up, kind of what is being rewarded and what is the different pillars, I would call it, the different pillars in which you can participate to earn rewards. And there are three main pillars. The first pillar is our liquidity bootstrap. This is really all on the DEX. You just go to MagicSea, and through these really new tech that Doc just described, you can either provide liquidity in concentrated liquidity book bins in the range, and you earn then Loom rewards, or you just use simple V2 farm, or you compete on the leaderboard. So this is really where a big part of the bootstrapping liquidity is rewarded to everybody who's participating this early on in IOTA EVM. With MagicSea, the second pillar is a trading competition. We're doing this via Tide, and there kudos also to Tide for setting this up and helping us there. I think this is a really cool provider also. So you can there, it's all on chain, and you mint an NFT, and then all your trades on MagicSea are counted and you earn points with it. And at the end of every epoch, then rewards are given out in Loom token for trading. So it's a nice way. Just use the DEX, trade, and you earn Loom with it. Maybe the easiest way to participate is actually when you're on MagicSea itself, you see a little banner that above it that's about the Hype Train campaign. If you just click there, you're directly directed to Tide there. And then the last part is a campaign over Zeely, where we also give a share of the Loom rewards, where if you help us spread the word, burst the IOTA bubble, this is really appreciated and is also rewarded there. So it's kind of provide liquidity, trade, and spread the word. This is kind of what the Hype Train wants to reward and is doing now in the fourth epoch as we're right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm personally very happy that you decided to go with 2-week epochs. Personally, there's few things more frustrating than being caught up in seasons or epochs that turn out to last months and months. So yeah, great thought here. Personally, very happy with that. So we have been talking about the Loom rewards that are given out to the Hype Train participants. I think that is a good segue into talking about Loom and then also Magic Loom and how they are related. There is a bunch of tokenomics to uncover here. So if you could walk us through that would be great.
Yes, I will start trying on a high level and then going a little bit through the different parts of the tokenomics and the tokens itself. So as you mentioned already, we have one reward token. It's Loom. You can earn it through the Hype Train now, or also just in general providing liquidity, farming it in either concentrated liquidity or V2 pools. And this is our reward token of the DEX. And then you can upgrade this token. It's through a special smart contract we developed. It's the booster. It has been running on Shimmer EVM. It's right now in the transitioning phase to come to IOTA EVM. So right now it's offline, but it's going to be put online again. And the booster is really interesting. So what the booster does is it allows you to allocate Loom token, and then you earn Magic Loom for it. And while you earn it, your Loom stake gets burned. So this way it stabilizes the Loom token. And at the same time, it rewards you with Magic Loom, which is our governance token. And there I can now switch a little bit into Magic Loom. And Magic Loom as a governance token is limited in supply. There's only 1 million in total. And is a little bit the heart of MagicSea. With that token, you get to stake it. You can stake it for the protocol, to earn the fees that the protocol earns. And we're distributing all of that to our Magic Loom pool, staking pool. And it just went live now. So now everybody who has Magic Loom can actually stake and earn USDC. I think this is really, really cool. So you're actually kind of the economy of the DEX. And if you have Magic Loom, you can, through that staking pool, participate in that. And then next things that are coming up is voting and bribing. So for emissions, let's say you're providing liquidity in a certain pool, Loom IOTA or Ethereum and IOTA, and you want to have their Loom rewards, then you will be able with your stake to vote on that. And I think this is a step towards further decentralization. And also it shows then a little bit the kind of influence you as a Magic Loom holder have. And there are some more perks coming, but this is for another day in the near future to share there around Magic Loom. But maybe just to wrap it a little bit up, you earn Loom in the different farming. You can boost it to Magic Loom, and then Magic Loom is really the heart that gives you all the power on the DEX.
Great. Yeah, thank you for that explanation. That is leading me to a more or less philosophical questions that I like to ask AMMs. And that is your take on emitting tokens or rewards, basically. Of course, farmers, they enjoy high rewards, but at the same time, it is somewhat of a cost for the protocol. So yeah, I'm wondering, what is your idea here on sustainable emissions and how to prevent the mercenary capital just farming the Loom rewards and then moving on to another liquidity pool on another protocol?
Yes, so I can jump here. I can try to take this philosophical question. Yes, and I would like to start basically from the end, and would like to build on what Hank just said, because this is something what makes us like really, really proud seeing just again, like 3 days ago. So when we started, we had from the very beginning, we had so strong community support, and this really keeps us thriving, right? We get so much good feedback. We have such a strong, community which went through like the full Shimmer roller coaster with us, and now really starting on IOTA VM and really pushing us to next level. So this makes us really proud. And so here we have very long time and strong supporters. And when we launched the Magic Loom staking pool, you could immediately see this. So at the moment, 82,000 Magic Loom are in supply. And out of these 82,000, 62, I think, I need to check the newest data, but 62,000 Magic Loom are staked. That's more than 75%, which is really, really strong. And out of these, like 75%, more than half or way more than half are locked longer than 1 year. And this shows really, really strong commitment and is exactly the difference to, merchandary capital and merchandary liquidity providing. So this is really, really cool. So I would like to start this off and just re-emphasizing this. But yeah, when we jump to emission rates and how we try to make everything what we do in regards to emission rates very efficient is, first of all, we watch our emission rates very, very closely all the time. So it doesn't matter if you look to V2 pools or on liquidity book farms. And one thing what I want to mention is when we went live with liquidity book farms, we are now able to incentivize very, very efficiently our liquidity. Because what does a DEX want? A DEX want as much volume as possible and wants to have as much liquidity in spot range. So where people trade, right? People want to have good trades. There we want to have the liquidity. For V2 pools, it's non-controllable for us because when someone adds liquidity, it's always spread across the full price range. So here we cannot target specific liquidity we actually really want. And it costs us a lot because you always need to incentivize the full range. On liquidity book farms, we can choose very, strategically and very focused what liquidity we want, how much of it, and how much Loom we want to reward for it. And this helps us to use less Loom, but get more out of the incentivization, and at the end get more volume out of it. And this actually happened the last couple of weeks when we started with liquidity book farms. So we have more liquidity where we need it. We have more volume. You can see it in the charts, but we spend less Loom. And this helps us to really, be more efficient in our emissions and really work against, overfloating tokens and be more sustainable overall. And maybe just one more comment, because Hank explained this very nicely with the booster. As more, from a Loom perspective, right? The Loom perspective, the Loom emission rates are open. So we could potentially mint, not unlimited, but we can mint more Loom than we could create Magic Loom, because Magic Loom is limited. But when the price of Loom goes down and we now have a very stable economy about Magic Loom, the booster gets much more efficient. And when I mean about much more efficient, it is burning more Loom. So it decreases automatically the supply of Loom. And this is how, we control these two different tokens, and how we, in this way, we can basically say, okay, how much Loom can we mint, how much Loom we can put into supply, how healthy is the booster at the moment, and this is how the full ecosystem is balancing itself out.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe I can add also just a little bit of a number here, is that in total, through this booster and this setup, more than half all of the Loom that we emitted have been burned. So this, let's say the Shimmer EVM, where we really trialed this for the first time, it really kind of showed the power to burn those Loom emissions. And now with IOTA EVM, there's then the next phase of this. So I think it really shows how these two with the booster work together.
Yeah. Thank you, Hanks. That's really good.
Yeah, it does sound like some thought has been given to that indeed. So, very cool. Let me take you to the community staking. So, great to see that IOTA Coin, Audit One, Gigafish, and FOMO Fox are already there. So basically, MagicSea is offering let's say third-party tokens, a way to incentivize stakers. So I'd be interested to learn what is the process to get there. Say if I want to launch a token and incentivize stakers, what is the process to have my token featured in that section on MagicSea?
Yes, so very good question. So here there are a lot of things you can do automatically on the DEX without getting in contact with us, right? For example, creating a pool and providing liquidity. You can do it. You can do this without any permission. It's permissionless. You can do it if you want. When you want to have more specific features, like what you just mentioned, the staking pool, or you want to have a community farm where you incentivize your liquidity pool token with your own token as incentives, or you even want to do a fair launch with us, like a full-blown fair launch with creating a new pool, incentivizing it later, maybe with a farm. So here you need to get in contact with us. And this is where it starts, what I said at the very beginning of the space, where I'm very active on in the business development area. So here, you need to basically get in contact with me or Alpha, and then we discuss, what you want to do, how we can help you, because at the end, MagicSea is here to support all the ecosystem around us, all the projects around us, to make them successful. And good entry points would be the partner application form. You can find them on our website. You just scroll down on the very bottom, and then you see partner application. You can click on it, fill everything out, and we will inform that you did it. And another good way is to go in our Discord, and you can open a ticket. You can choose which kind of tickets you want to open, and there is a business application ticket. And these tickets are always reviewed, and then you can get easily in contact with us too. To maybe back to your question. So if you want to have such a staking pool or even a community farm, you need to get in contact with us, and then we go to the details.
And Doc, maybe you can also share a little bit in terms of farms for projects. What's there a little bit to come in terms of bribing, right? So what kind of possibilities will there be unlocked in the not too distant future?
Yeah. So, we thought actually, so as Hank explained before, that the next big step for our protocol is voting and bribing. It is actually the biggest last feature, which makes then the tokenomics feature complete, which we are very much looking forward to. And with voting and bribing, we give a specific percentage of the Loom emissions to voters. So everyone who is locking the Magic Loom into the Magic Loom staking pool is allowed to vote for these part of the emissions. And here, for example, if you are a protocol who wants to have a Loom farm on MagicSea, can then use these voting mechanisms to vote for its own token or for its own pool or farm at the end. And here you can basically, you have two different ways how you could do it. You can go to the DEX, you can buy or earn Magic Loom, then you lock it, and then you vote for yourself, and then you pool after you hit a specific threshold, will get Loom emissions. So this is one way. And the other way is that you can bribe the community, so all the others who can possibly vote with the Magic Loom tokens. You can bribe for them. You can basically say, hey, we will give you parts of our own token as a bribe if you vote for us. And then everyone who votes for this project pool gets the bribe rewards. And with this mechanism, we make this full, how do I get a Loom farm much more permissionless, because these protocols or projects can then just do it by themselves. And as more support they get from the community, as bigger the Loom emission farm can be for them.
Yeah, lovely. So definitely a transparent on-chain bribery, probably one of my favorite aspects of DeFi, but just to help my understanding, to make sure I really got it down. So basically, for example, there is the Ink IOTA community farm right now, which is emitting Ink tokens to liquidity providers. Now, I own a bunch of mLoom, and therefore I can vote to direct Loom emissions to the Ink and IOTA farm, and then it would yield higher returns. Fair to say like that?
That's correct.
Awesome. Got it down then. Yeah, very exciting stuff. I'll be sure to keep an eye on that. Let's move on to one of our last but usually favorite topics here in the communities, and that is, of course, the NFTs and Soonerverse situation. Is there anything that you can offer for the people affected by Soonerverse closing shop? Are there any plans floating around in this regard?
So if you look a little bit on our DEX right now on IOTA EVM, so first of all, for the NFT project, what needs to be is that the NFTs are minted on IOTA EVM. So I think one nice example where we've seen this now is with She Universe. So all the She Universe NFTs are now tradable on MagicSea, and also the ones that were previously on Soonerverse. So this is kind of the pathway that is possible. However, the NFT marketplace, also on MagicSea, is kind of it's not our main part, or mainly we're a DEX, right? So this is really a thing for the community where we say, hey, this is because we want to have this on IOTA EVM, and it really often makes sense together for projects that they have their NFTs and then they also have their tokens. So maybe there it's just a little bit of a balance. We do not want to create kind of a NFT marketplace. Soonerverse had that as their main goal, right? And then you had a huge amount of NFT projects. We're really a little bit focused on the key NFT collections that the community really cares about, that have a real following behind it, that have a certain ecosystem around it. So we will still look at the NFT collection to say, hey, is there demand behind it as well? And then yes, if the NFTs are on IOTA EVM, I think it's always fair to reach out.
Yeah, very fair answer. Yeah, great to hear. That is already bringing us more or less to the end of this AMA. So, yeah, if you guys here in the audience have any questions that you want to throw at Doc or Hank, then please let us know by raising your hand and we will get you on stage. While that invitation is lingering, picked up a question that is shared by Waterfall and Ape number 779. And that is about the MLOOM booster. You have been touching upon that briefly already. It is about staking and it is about farming, all for MLOOM. Maybe you can give us a little bit of an outlook here in this regard.
So where can I see the question? Is when booster resurrection? Is this the question?
That is the one. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So really good question. And this is linked to what Hank said, that the booster is offline on Shimmer EVM at the moment and in transition phase to IOTA EVM. So it's not started there yet. So the reason why the booster is not immediately relaunched is we want to, let's say, make a little bit of maintenance. So the booster is a very new smart contract. So we developed it from scratch. It's I've never seen it somewhere in DeFi. It was completely a new thing to do. And we did like a couple of audits on it because we wanted to make really sure that everything is safe. But we really tested this dynamics out first time on the Shimmer EVM. And one thing what we have learned is that the booster is very dynamic when you think of Loom and MagicLoom. So these two tokens are very dynamically connected with the booster. But the booster overall is not really reacting on the market situation around. So for example, when you look at Loom emissions, what we just have discussed, we can somehow control a bit how much Loom we want to emit, which is fully connected to the volume, which is the DEX generating right now, how much profit the DEX is doing. So we can, change and adapt a little bit how much Loom emissions does really make sense in regards to the growth around us and how the DEX is, how big the DEX is at the moment. So here we are flexible in adjusting this and make it even more sustainable for the protocol. The booster is not like this at the moment. So the booster is basically distributing MagicLoom, whatever the market is doing at the moment. It's like boosting out the MagicLoom on a very linear way, without having any connections to volume or to liquidity at the moment at the DEX. And we thought this could be potentially better. So we could potentially improve the booster in a way that it's more adaptable and flexible to the growth or the state of the DEX at the moment. And here we thought, okay, we are not in a hurry. So we want to take a bit of time. We want to look at it. We want to test it a bit. And then when we think we are good, we will relaunch the booster on IOTA EVM, which is maybe in September. It's not sure yet, but it really depends a bit how much we want to change and how much audits we need to do for these changes.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for your question. Ape number 779. Waterfall is following up with a question about MLOOM. He is wondering, when will staking and farming be available? I think you got some good news here for our friend Waterfall, if you want to break it to him.
Yes, Doc. Do you want? I can do this. So, staking for emissions is available on IOTA EVM. So if you have your MagicLoom on Shimmer EVM, you still would need to bridge them over to IOTA EVM. And then under actually the section of, if you're on our DEX and you look in the header part, there's the part Magic, and then the third there is Magic Stake. And there you can then allocate your MagicLoom and earn the protocol rewards there. So it's live. It's live since this week, and you can join now if you have your MagicLoom on IOTA EVM. In terms of farming, there's also farms open for MagicLoom. There's one, there's a if I look now, if you go into Earn and Farms and then you select IOTA, you can then either look for the simple V2 or concentrated liquidity book farms. And there then also you will see farms available that have Magic Loom.
Yes, it's Magic Loom IOTA. One is a simple V2 farm and one is a liquidity book farm. Both is available depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, that is going to be a very satisfactory answer for Waterfall. But we got one more to cover. Probably, maybe you're not able to speak to this, but he is also asking, when will Rusty Robot Country Club staking and farming be available? Maybe you can discuss some of that. Is there anything going on in this direction?
And maybe I can jump in here. Yes, so we are Rusty Robot, or the Rusty project we are very close with them, and we are always in contact and work very closely with them. So here, yes, we are, discussing right now in which regards we can do a staking opportunity for them. And at the end, it's always the decision of the project, right? So not we as a team are, somehow against something of this. It's more like, how can we support and when they want to go live? So here, the leader in regards to timeline is always the project. So there are discussions in this direction. Maybe, not sure if you have seen it. I think Rust is live, on Ape Bond. So it's a kind of similar way than farming. It's just a more like a bond, feature, but you can check it out. So I think you can buy Rust, via the Ape Bonds. And Ape Bonds is in a collaboration with us too. So we work closely with them together, and we always, when we recommend something to the teams, we always make bonds as part of it, in these discussions. So here, this is something you can potentially, check out. And in regards to farms, this will then come when the voting and bribing goes live, because then the Rust team I think they have Magic Loom, and they can vote for themselves, and then they will get a Rust Loom farm for them active.
All right, getting some juicy alpha here at the very end of the AMA. Great. That is always nice. So people sit through the whole thing. Awesome. With that, I think we covered quite a bunch of ground here, picked up the community questions. So thanks a lot, Doc and Hank, for coming on. It's been a real pleasure. And of course, thank you a lot to the audience that joined us tonight. Thank you, Waterfall. Thank you, number 779. And I need to mention, of course, that this episode of Buildsphere has been for informational purposes only. And with that, I would pass on the mic to you once more for a closing statement before releasing everybody into the rest of the day.
Then I give it a start. First of all, thanks really for hosting us, and thanks everybody here for joining and listening in to what has been happening on MagicSea and what's to come. And really looking forward to the next month. And with that, handing over to Doc.
Yes, and I can just copy what Hank said. So thank you for joining, and really, like as I said before, thank you for all the support in the last couple of years. I mean, we are in this ecosystem for quite some time now, and we cannot do this alone, right? We need the community around us, and we need the feedback and the support, and we get this, and this really motivates us and helps us to build more and to be even stronger and make this ecosystem a success. So, thank you for all your support and joining today on this Twitter space. And thanks for the invite at the end, Jonathan.
It's been my pleasure. We should do this again one day. And with that, I'm just left with thanking all of you guys once more. Tune in for next week. There we are having a chat with Tenety. Hopefully that is going to, be very interesting. I certainly think so. So tune in next Wednesday again. And have a great rest of the day. See you on Discord. Goodbye.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.